It was a cold Thursday evening in Atlanta. The streets were slick with rain, and the neon lights from rundown stores reflected on the wet pavement. Inside a small, quiet diner named Ruby's Corner, Tamara Hill, a 26-year-old African-American waitress, wiped down tables while humming softly to herself. Tamara had been working at Ruby's for 3 years. Ever since her mother passed away and she dropped out of college to care for her younger sister, life had been a string of graveyard shifts and unpaid bills. But she never let hardship steal her warmth. She smiled at strangers. She gave warm coffee refills without charge. She believed in kindness, even when the world had been cruel to her. That night, something felt different. At 9:46 p.m., just after the dinner crowd had thinned, she noticed a little boy sitting alone in the corner booth. His hoodie was soaked, his hands trembling as he tried to warm them with his breath. His face was familiar, too familiar. She walked over gently. "Hi, honey. You lost?" The boy hesitated. "No, ma'am. I just needed somewhere warm." She looked into his eyes and saw more than cold. She saw hunger. Pain. Loneliness. Without another word, she brought him hot soup and a grilled cheese sandwich. "No charge," she said softly. "Just promise me you'll eat." He looked up at her, eyes wide. "Thank you. No one's been this nice in a long time." She smiled, fighting tears. Well, someone should be. What Tamara didn't know was that sitting in the back of the diner, behind a newspaper, was Langston Reed, a billionaire tech genius, and one of the most powerful black men in the country. That night, he had slipped out of a corporate event, needing a taste of real life. Something inside him had been feeling empty for a long time. What he saw that night changed everything. The boy's name was Jaden. Over the next few nights, Tamara kept seeing him around the diner. Sometimes he'd sit near the back. Sometimes he'd sleep outside under the awning. Finally, one night, after closing, she found him curled up on the bench by the window, shivering. "Where's your mom, baby?" she asked. He paused. She died last month. Cancer." Tamara froze. He continued, "I stayed with her in the car. After she passed, I didn't know what to do. I tried the shelter, but it was scary. So I came here." Tamara wrapped him in her arms. "You don't have to be scared anymore." That night, she took him home. Her apartment was small, just one bedroom above a noisy laundromat. The wallpaper peeled in corners. The heater made a loud thud every hour. But it was safe. And warm. And filled with love. She gave him clean clothes, warmed up leftover stew, and tucked him into her own bed. She slept on the couch, heart full of both fear and hope. Days turned into weeks. Tamara filed for temporary guardianship. Social workers came. Paperwork piled up. Bills kept coming. She worked extra hours. She sold her TV. She skipped meals to make sure Jaden had enough. Still, she never complained. Every day, she would pack Jaden's lunch with a sweet note inside. "You are smart. You are worthy. You are loved." And every night, Jaden would say, "Good night, Mama Tam." She'd whisper back, "Good night, my miracle." But behind closed doors, Tamara was struggling. Her landlord had posted a final notice. Her shoes had holes. She sometimes cried silently in the shower just so Jaden wouldn't hear. Still, she kept showing up. At work. In life. With a smile. And from afar, Langston Reed kept watching. One rainy Tuesday, Langston finally approached her. Wearing a plain coat and no entourage, he asked for coffee. When she served it with a warm smile and a free muffin, "On the house," he said. "You're the reason I believe there's still good in this world." Tamara chuckled, brushing it off. It's just coffee. No, he said, it's not. He reached into his coat and handed her a thick envelope. Open it when you're alone. That night, after putting Jaden to sleep, she opened it. Inside was a letterhead from the Langston Reed Foundation, offering her full guardianship support for Jaden. A fully paid apartment in a safer neighborhood. Healthcare for both. A job offer, executive assistant to the foundation, with a starting salary of $125,000. Tamara burst into tears. I don't deserve this, she whispered. But a note at the bottom of the letter said, kindness like yours changes lives. Now it's time someone changed yours. Langston. Months later, Tamara walked into her first day at the foundation. Dressed in a navy blue blazer and heels she never thought she'd afford, she was welcomed by Langston himself. Jaden now attended one of the best charter schools in Atlanta. He had a backpack full of books and a heart full of dreams. At night, he still slept with Tamara's handwritten notes under his pillow. At the annual charity gala, Langston stood on stage and spoke. There are people with millions. And people with nothing. But true wealth is in the heart. I found that out when I saw a waitress feed a lonely child, not knowing someone was watching. He looked at Tamara, now sitting beside him in the front row. She didn't ask for fame. Or money. She just gave love. And that love is what saved a boy. And honestly, it saved me too. The crowd stood, clapping with teary eyes. Jaden ran up to Tamara, threw his arms around her and said, I'm gonna make you proud, Mama. She smiled, tears falling. You already have, baby. You already have. The world often teaches us that success is measured in dollars, luxury cars, or the size of our homes. But every once in a while, a story reminds us of a different truth, that the richest hearts often live in the most humble places. This is the story of a simple waitress named Tamara. She didn't have savings, a fancy job, or a secure future. What she did have was love, compassion, and a heart strong enough to carry someone else's pain. When she saw a lonely, hungry boy sitting in her diner, she didn't walk past. She didn't ask questions. She gave him food. Warmth. Shelter. And eventually, she gave him something more powerful than anything money can buy, the feeling of being loved. And in the quiet corners of that diner, someone was watching, a billionaire with everything money could offer, and yet, something inside him was missing. Tamara didn't know she was being watched. She didn't help for recognition. She helped because it was the right thing to do. And in doing so, she lit a spark in someone who had the power to change her life. The lesson here is simple, yet profound.